Hey everyone, it's Miss Megan, and today we're going to be making Harry Potter bookmarks. So in the directions I stated that you were only going to be able to create a chevron bookmark, which looks like this. This just involves folding paper so that it creates a V shape. I'll show you that a little bit later. However, I did decide to include a bonus kind that you can do as well, which looks like this. It looks kind of like a scarf. I just cut tassels on the end by just cutting little slits into the paper. And then to actually make this, I will also include directions for that. So I hope everybody has fun. Included in your bags is going to be Harry Potter themed bookmark directions. Now on this sheet is going to be a color key for each of the 4 houses in the Harry Potter books. Your houses are going to be Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. Now the first colors listed next to each of those houses is going to be the main color for that house. So as we can see with this bookmark down here, the tassels are red, which means that the main color I used for this was red. So can you guess what it is? Gryffindor! Good job. And then for this one, it's a little bit trickier to see because the colors are, right next to each other, and there's one color down here and one color over here. But if you look at your bookmark directions, there's only one house that has blue and gray. And can you guess what that is? Ravenclaw. Awesome job. So here are the directions for how to create both bookmarks. The first bookmark that we're going to do is the chevron. Now, since I already made a Ravenclaw bookmark, I'm going to make a Hufflepuff version of this. So if you decide that you want to do Ravenclaw, you absolutely can. Just make sure that whatever color you start with is the main color for that house. Now, we included enough slips in your bag that you can create either 4 of the chevrons, or you can create 4 of the scarves of each house. So pick and choose what you want to do, and then you can get started. The first step that you're going to take is put a little bit of glue. I'm using a glue stick just because I find that the glue dries a little bit faster than liquid glue. And you're going to put it on the left color strip. Now, since I'm doing Hufflepuff, my main color is going to be yellow, which is why I'm using yellow first. And I'm going to take my second strip and I'm going to put it right on top. And I want to make sure that it perfectly aligns on this side and on this side with this strip of paper. Now, once you get that done, you can go on to the next step. Your next step is going to involve the second color that goes with your house. So since I'm doing Hufflepuff, my second color is black. I put a little bit of glue right here, which is right next to this paper that I just put down. And I'm going to put this piece right next to it, making sure that it lines up directly with this piece of paper on this side and this piece of paper on this side. Once you have that done, you can push it down to secure it. The next step involves the second piece of black paper that I have. Now you're also going to need to put glue on this next part in order to put this on. However, I put it on this piece of paper rather than putting it on the yellow, just so that I can adjust this if needed. So I'm going to put it down, making sure to line it up directly with this part over here and this part over here. And once you have that done, you can move on to the next step. So I'm going to start with this yellow piece, and as you can see, I already put a little bit of glue on the black part because once I fold it, I want to secure it down and have it be directly glued to this black piece. So I'm going to fold this over. It's going to kind of make a diagonal shape when I fold it. So let me go fold it and I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like once your first fold is done. Now, as you can see, I made sure to line up this yellow piece with this black piece as well, making sure that they're touching so that our bookmark stays nice and neat. And then the next step is going to be to do the same to the other side. So you're going to take the yellow part, put a little bit of glue on these 2 pieces, fold it over, and then you're going to have it come across this way. So let me show you that in the next step. And this is what our bookmark looks like so far. So the next step is going to be to just keep folding in, taking turns with the colors. So the next color we're going to do is black. I put a little bit of glue right here just to get started, and then I'm just going to fold over the black piece so that when it comes over, it lays directly next to the yellow piece on the other side. and then I'm going to push it down and make sure it's nice and secure with that glue, and then I'll start with this next black piece. And you keep doing that until you get to the end. Now, as you can see with my finished product of my Hufflepuff bookmark, the bottom of it is a little bit different from the bottom of the first bookmark that I showed you, and that is totally okay. However it comes out is going to be a great bookmark, and you can always put, oh, sorry everybody, you can always put your house crest on there as well if you'd like. Here's my Hufflepuff one, I just haven't cut it out yet. You can put it on this side, you can put it on this side, whichever way you would like to. Or if you just want to leave it like this, you can do that as well. So stay tuned for the next bookmark, which is going to be the scarf bookmark. So as you saw in the directions earlier, for each house they had 2 colors, and each of those colors had 2 slips of paper that you needed. However, for this bookmark, we're only going to need the 2 main colors. So I'm going to create another Ravenclaw bookmark. So I'm going to do 2 of my blue, and you're only going to need 1 of the second color. So since my second color is gray, I'm going to take 1 out, and I'm going to put it to the side, and you can save that for scrap, or you can use it for another project. And then we're going to get started with the next steps. Now, since our main color strips are a little bit thinner, I'm actually going to push them together to create a thicker bookmark. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can have a super thin bookmark and you can make 2 of these, or if you just want to do it like this, you can as well to have a little bit thicker of a bookmark. I'm going to push them together, and the way that I'm going to secure them so that they don't move apart like this is I'm going to cut strips of our second color, and I'm going to glue them across like this. Now, when you cut the strips, you want to make sure that you line it up at first with the actual blue strips or the main color that you're using, and then you're going to want to cut it so that it's exactly the same length. Now for this one, I actually cut some of my strips a little bit bigger than the red part, and that was okay because I was able to take a scissor and trim them down. And if that happens with you, that's totally okay. So start cutting some strips, and once you have that done, we'll come back and we'll start gluing. I didn't glue the strips down yet, but I just wanted to show you what this looks like. Now, as you can see, some of my strips are a little bit shorter, and that's totally okay because we can cut the blue if we need to later. Now to get started with the glue, you're going to put the glue directly on the strips that you just cut, and you're going to glue them down. Just be careful that your pieces don't separate and they don't go like this, because we want them to be perfectly next to one another. So start with 1 piece, and once you get that down, you can position it where you want it and glue it down. Okay, I just finished gluing down each of the little gray pieces to my blue, and the next step I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this top part a little bit just to make some of these a little bit more even, because as you can see with this piece, it comes off the page a little bit, and this piece over here doesn't quite reach the edge. So I'm going to trim it so that it creates a little bit straighter of a line. And then I'm also going to create little tassels, which I'm just going to cut strips like this. You don't want to actually cut the strips out. You just want to cut once and then move your scissors. Once, move your scissors. Once, move your scissors. And you're going to do that to both ends. So I'll see you back in a second. So I just finished adjusting the top of my bookmark to make it a little bit straighter and to make sure that the gray didn't hang over the blue. And I also cut the tassels into the bookmark as well. As you can see, they're really thin and they're really long compared to the first bookmark I showed you, which was my Gryffindor one. You're welcome to make them super small like I did for the first one, or you can make them really long like I did for the second one. Now also make sure that you don't use your bookmarks until they are fully dry. So it might take a full day for them to dry, or it might just take an hour. You can check on them every now and then. But I hope you all had a lot of fun creating your bookmarks, and I can't wait until see what we create next. Bye!